What up, y'all? It's Chris Weathers, aka Shorty C94, back at you again with episode 95 of Shorty's Sneaker Conversations. Let's get these lights going. There we go. So, what's up, Barley? About to send you the request. What's up, Keisha? Al? What's going on? Let's see here. Sent the invite, my friend. What's up, B?
Hogan theme song.
What is up, man? What's going on? What's up, Marley? You there? Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. What's up, Tommy Big Shoes? Here it is on YouTube. Dang. All right, Marlon, you ready?
Yeah, man. What's up, y'all? They
What's
messed
up,
up my
man?
whole intro.
What you
They
say?
messed up my whole intro. You know,
It's all
it's
good.
all good.
So what's been up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, everything's everything. Everything is everything. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm just trying to get like you, man. You know what I mean?
Nah, man. I'm just Cleveland, man. I'm just Cleveland, man. What's going on?
I get you. Well, obviously you and I have known each other for a very, very long time. But for everybody that's joining, you mind just telling everybody who you are, where you from?
Well, first of all, I just want to say this is an honor and a pleasure. This is like the most anticipated meeting since Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage in circa 1989 WrestleMania V. That's 5 for you guys who are not mathematically inclined. I just want y'all to know that this has been like a long time coming. It shouldn't have never took this long. I'm happy to be here with the legend himself, and it's just great to be here, man. I'm just a humble guy from Cleveland. I'm nobody really, but you know what I'm saying. Hey,
Come on,
Nine,
man.
I see.
You a JFK. You a Cleveland legend, man. Everybody know you, man. You know the big. So good to see you. Before we get started, I do have to ask you, what's the most positive thing you've been able to take from the world since the pandemic started?
The most positive thing since the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, hasn't been a lot positive since the pandemic started, but it has shown people, including me, more ways to make money. So, I guess that's positive.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay. Well, usually I kind of start with sneaker origins and then we work our way. I probably know the answer to many of these questions, but I have to ask, just kind of starting off, what was your first, kind of sneaker memory? Because you've always had the kicks ever since we known each other.
My first sneaker memory. Whew. You know, one of my favorites. I don't know if it was one of my first, but this is one of my favorites because usually my early memories are like bad because it was like, it was the corny kicks, right? It wasn't the stuff that I really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the early bad memories. But one of my favorite memories was when, I know you remember those felines with the chunky sole that look like the forces.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a real popular pick for me, and I actually got them, and I was like, I had a pair with the teal heel on them. Mine was teal, but white with the teal heel. I was super fresh, at least for a second, you know.
Nah, man. I never owned that shoe until this year. I've always wanted an FX 100, but
What?
yeah, I never owned it until this year. And the pair I have is all gray. I want a white base leather pair like back then, but I've never been able to find one.
Man, yeah, those was hot for me at that time, and like, you know, I wore those things to death, probably to that soul ran out. You know.
Nah, I feel it. I feel it. Okay. So what was like that next sneaker that kind of solidified, excuse me, and was like, all right, I'm in this now.
You know, the first one I actually bought with my own money was the 13, the Flint 13. That was the first one I bought with my own money. My cousin took me to Randall, and I believe we were in finish line at the time. I didn't even have the money for the tax, really. He gave me the tax on it, you know, but I had them. Those were the dopest thing I could have seen at the time, and that jumped me into the sneaker world because I was buying them officially on my own now. So, you know.
Yeah. I feel like that shoe and the black and red 11 were probably the two biggest Jordans in our high school time in 95, 99.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was, those were like, I mean, I couldn't even explain the joy. Like, and I was going to Catholic school at the time, and really wasn't even supposed to wear those colors. It didn't matter because I was putting them on, you know. Didn't matter. They couldn't stop me. I'm in the hallway, you know,
Yeah.
watch me.
Yeah. But I don't know. I do have to say, we're both 99ers. That ninth grade year, like it was like too much heat coming out that year. You remember?
I mean, first of all, it was amazing how much just in that high school 4-year form, how much even actually I'll go back to junior high because man, I mean everything from the air missions to like that's when performance shoes were really in the group. Like people were wearing performance shoes, and SWV had girls rocking spikes. They were rocking spikes.
Yeah,
Like you gotta be hard. You rocking spikes to school.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's raw stuff, man.
Oh, good times, good times. I just like I'll say the golden era. I always spread it out, but I'll say it's from 93 probably till about 98. Now, to me, 12th grade was kind of for sneakers. You had the penny
Yeah.
14s, and at the end of 12th grade, that's when the retro started, 99. But, a lot of stuff was just kind of But 11th grade all the way back to like 7th grade, it was number heat.
Yeah. I mean, that was the time where you could pretty much, just walk in the mall, man. And that's what I really miss, just being able to walk in the mall and walk in a store. Just walk in the store and like, I need a 10 and a half, man. Like, boom, and pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the information that we get about shoes. Like, I mean, we know about stuff coming out next year already, but I kind of miss sneaker anonymity sometimes where it's like you go in and you're like, damn, I ain't never seen these before. That really doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, just being able to walk in a store and look at the wall and like, oh, look at those, look at those. Yeah, it's none of that. Now everything that's out, it, and it's kind of boring. I do like being able to, kind of predict what I want, but it doesn't have the same nostalgic feeling, and that's all I'm about. I'm an old head, just nostalgic about everything that used to be when I was a kid, and just what I didn't get, I want now. Everything I didn't have, I want right now, and I've been lucky enough to kind of do that. That's the best thing about being an adult, besides being able to buy my own cereal. And whatever cereal I want, I buy it. I got all of them. I'm telling you, you should see my cereal cabinet. And that's the whole thing about being an adult. Shoes and cereal.
Shoes and cereal. I'm about to call this episode that.
Hey, we can talk about it weekly. I got it, man. I got it.
Yeah, man. So I know that you went to Catholic school and then you kind of transitioned over to regular school. Like, what grade did that happen?
I really, I started in public school and then we moved around a lot. So like I went to Louisiana for a little bit. I started ninth grade down there, and then I came back to Cleveland halfway through my ninth grade year, and went to John Marshall for a bit.
West Side.
Uh, that was Dangerous Minds over there. And so I ended up, my grandmother like, hey man, go over to Catholic school, right? Where like my uncles did. Like my uncles went, so Cleveland Central Catholic it was. I went there starting 10th grade and stayed there till 11th, middle 11th. That's when K House came calling, man. And I probably should have been there all along. I mean, it just felt right. It felt right on my skin.
Yeah, like I always remember Michael Jordan saying that if he was single, he would have played for the Knicks in '99. I always wanted to go to Kennedy in that same way. Like if I could have went to Kennedy just one year, my dad is a part of the Kennedy alumni. He's always having to do with the picnic y'all have and all of that. But I always wanted to go there just once, even though I was a Shaker right down the street. I always wanted to go to Kennedy just one school year.
It was a great time, man. I'm telling you, that was the place to be. It was I mean, you know, I didn't know it was so many people I knew there, and then plus it was just the environment was fun. It was just fun, man. K House was where it's at.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
For real, man. For real.
Now, I feel like I know the answer to, again, many of these questions since we've known each other for so long. But during those times, especially, late 90s, what brands along, with the Kicks did you find yourself gravitating towards?
The late 90s, I was always a big Nike fan. It was like, I don't know, it was just something about, I mean, they got great advertising, of course, but it was their shoes just looked different. They felt different. So I was always really into them. Like, everything that was coming out, like the Air Max, once you start seeing Air Max and Air Max bubbles, I'm thinking like, man, this is a fantastic looking shoe. Like, and then being able to see that you got like, I don't know, colorways and things they came out with. It was fantastic. So like I immediately I was in tune to the shoe. The Nike was it. Reeboks had their time where they would put out like Sean Kemp's, and things like that. They had their time, but nothing was big. Nike was just here. Everybody else was down here, man. You know.
And one thing that they did, Nike did, that I didn't really realize at the time, but obviously we realized it later, that product placement. And I always bring that up because they always put them shoes on the right people, the right shows and movies at the right time.
Commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Commercials, man. They came out with the commercial that, and that's the crazy part because I don't remember nobody else's commercials like that. Like Nike's product placement and marketing team. Whether you got Penny, whether you got Jordan, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like they were putting people out there on TV. They got people dribbling a basketball just out there on TV. And that's just amazing. It was amazing. Like, man, nobody wasn't doing that. Closest Reebok came, they put Iverson on a commercial, blah, Jada Kiss, blah, okay. But Nike got hundreds and hundreds for every one of you guys, So they know what they're doing, I wanted to show you something because I know you will remember them, but they was like one of my favorite shoes, and it took me a long time to get them, and I had to like order them. I think it was like an East Bay. Remember the Airburst 5?
Oh man, obviously those are
the Airburst. This was my favorite. I found them in East Bay one day, and they had my size, and I just like, and I could still put them on. I tried them on like, oh man, look at this. But this was a classic shoe that it was like one of my favorites. I would wear them. I wore them in college. I wore them wherever I could. It was awesome.
I still have, you remember, I forget how we did it, but I still, from the record exchange days, I still have those 17s that you gave me. And I still have that record jacket that you gave me. Those are things I'll always have. I don't know. Did we trade or how did we work that out?
I came in because you were so good to me. You always used to show love to me every time I came around. You like black man brother of mine. So it's like, Every time I give it, so I'll just drop you off. So like I dropped the Rucker jacket. I think it was the green one, the yellow. Wasn't it the yellow one? No, it's the red one. I gave
The
you the
red,
red.
yeah,
Yeah, I gave because I had a yellow and green one. So, and yeah, I just remember I was just like, man, I'm gonna take him this. I know you would appreciate shit like that. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's just I know when people can appreciate things, it's the music. That's why I DJ. It's like when people can appreciate it, I always hook them up with it because it's nothing.
yeah, man. And then you hooked me up with quite a few things over the years, so I definitely, can't thank you enough, man. I can't thank you enough for being here as well today.
Nah, man, you like a big brother, man. So I keep it there. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, do you remember your first job and what sneakers you bought with that first money?
What
After
was
the
that? I'm sorry.
after the 13s, you remember like the next sneaker you bought, kind of like with your own money?
Oh yeah, I mean, I still got the candy cane 14s. I still got. I mean, I was. Those were like my next love. I'm like, man, these shoes look ridiculously good. The candy cane 14s, and then I was always into, um, like the white and red. I would if it was white and red, or blue, either one of the two. Those were the two shoes that I wanted. And I would. Matter of fact, let me see what I got here.
You got people in the comments wanting to see more kicks.
I know you remember these.
Oh, the 20 fusions. Yeah.
That's fusion. I got the white ones and the black ones. Of course, they feel so good. I'm like, people, the fact that people didn't want like certain, man, like, come on, man, you kidding me? Like, come
I
on.
got that exact shoe, but on mine, the adhesive doesn't really work anymore. Like it won't strap down. So I just wear them loose. You got the 9
The
fusion.
nine, of course, the nine. I'm telling you, man, these people were sleeping on stuff like that. And that's why I was taking advantage. I'm telling you, those was Foot Locker East Bay days, internet, when you could start getting those combo packs.
Mm-hmm. You remember? I always remember you go a half. We went half on at least 2 of them. I always appreciate that too because I want the lower number. You would want the higher number. So
I never wore anything under 11 for, I don't know, it took me almost 30 years to start buying stuff under 11.
yeah, yeah.
It took me so many years. Like, man, I didn't have an appreciation for it. I think something took it. I like stepped in a one day and it was like, ugh, and I never wanted to try it no more. And now it's like, now I got a ton of ones, a ton of 2, 3, 4, whatever. You know, just got those Chateau Rouges. I've been getting every brown
Ooh,
shoe they came out with. Yeah,
nice.
I was lucky enough. I was lucky enough to get the Chateau Rouge. I was lucky enough to get
Mm.
what else did I get? That was my this week's last pick. And of course I got those doggone up tempos, of course,
Mm.
which probably should have laid up, but I couldn't just because.
Now I wanted those. My wife got a pair right here, but I wasn't able to get them because I was on the plane. I missed the drop.
You can still get them. You
Okay.
can still get them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where they got them too. Somebody got them, but since I'm a Browns fan, I couldn't pass up. I
Yeah.
got 3 pair
Woo.
accidentally,
Woo.
but
Oh man,
accidentally.
good to see you still copping, man.
I, I'm trying not to do so much. I'm trying not to do so much. Um, but when something comes out like I said, these have been my favorite walk-arounds for a minute. I don't know why people wasn't buying them. I freaking love them. I think they're awesome. They feel good, and that's been a thing. The feel has been good on these. The quality on those and the Stage Haze are great. I got all of them, and I think they're awesome, man. Those are fantastic shoes. So, I've been Yeah, it's been, and I still do my athletic thing. So I'm hooping. I wear my KD 14s and the Kyrie 8s are what's going on right now.
Okay.
Kyrie's are usually my shoe of choice for hooping, but the KD 14s feel fantastic. So
Nah, just wearing
yeah,
those casual, I know they felt good. So I can only imagine how they feel on the court.
they are one of the best hoop shoes right now. Besides the Kyrie, yeah, they are awesome, man. You don't get too much better than that.
Now, I have to ask you this. Do you still have all of those Kobe's?
I have a ton of Kobe still. I sold like two pair when they first died because and it was two pair that I really wasn't gonna wear. But it was like, which ones were they? I forget. It wasn't nothing real important ones, but people were throwing money at you for them. So I sold like two pair, but I got most of them. I still love the 2Ks, like the 2Ks, man, like the Hirachi 2Ks, man. Those are still some of my favorites too. Still got those. I got a couple of those brand new still that I got a lot of stuff I just haven't even put on my foot yet. But you know, I'm trying. I'm trying to make my way through.
The last time we were together, you were showing me pictures. I remember you had a decent amount of 2Ks. You had like some of the Kobe ones and regular ones. You had Kobe twos. Just a lot of that. Like I like those Kobe's. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody
Yeah,
loves
yeah, yeah.
tops is cool, but yeah, from the Hirachi 2K4 all the way up to like the Kobe 3. Those are like my favorite Kobe's.
Oh yeah, those are the best to hoop in too. Those Hirachi 2K4s, I would hoop in those all day. Like the new ones, like I don't that flat line, and it's not enough shoe. It's just all foot. It's
Yeah,
like it's so flat, it's all foot. So I really want something more support and feel the shoe around me. I feel like that's gonna tear up.
yeah. All right, now you know I'm going to ask this too because you've been like this since the rookie season. Are you still not a LeBron James fan?
Hey, I wish I could show. I wish I could switch phones and show you. This fool called me the other day, right? He called me the other day while I'm at work, and I ignored his call. I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I wish I could show you my call log. He called me the other day, and I looked at my phone. I'm like, man, I ignored his call. I'm like, I ain't. He just want to recruit me or something like that. I mean, he tired of Westbrook, so now you want a real shooter? Come on, man, get out of here, man. So I totally ignore. I pushed ignore on it and let it go. Voicemail, he ain't leave me a message or nothing.
Uh,
So I wish I could show you that on my call log, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I get his shoes for the hype for people. I sell them to people, and I still got a whole lot of them that were, like classics and limited editions or whatever. I keep those in the closet just in case one day. I show them off for people who might want to buy something, but I don't really, man. I wouldn't. I think he probably wanted to try to ask me to like help him out because his shoes are like selling for $20 right now. I think I just found some at on Craigslist.
uh,
You know, I mean, it's the guy. I don't know. I guess he just he hit the wall, man.
Come on.
The shoe game hit the wall with him.
I remember you used to call him LeBum. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, it's still relevant. Still relevant to this day.
All right.
Still relevant.
Another thing. I know you got siblings. Are they into the sneakers and the style like you?
Oh yeah, I mean, they have they're definitely into it. I'm a little overboard, but they're definitely into it. They have since we've been like teenagers. Yeah, and my brother actually kind of started me because he spent money way before me. He's a few years older, so he was able to spend money before me. And, I remember him first getting the Carolina 11s, something I've never had, by the way, which I'm so upset about. I've never had them, and I was upset about that. He bought the Concords, and he bought the Taxi 12s. And when those came, I'm like, man, he was getting all of them. I was like, man, I was mighty jealous, but it's not till these past few years where I started getting all those things that started coming out again. I've got my 11 game is up now. It's up. It's up. I've been nitpicking through the years, but my old school 11 game is up now.
Cool.
I've been able to hit, especially since I've been able to use like sneakers, Hibbit, and all. I've been killing the game. Killing the game.
Yeah, I really wanted those Chateau Rouges. Like, my wife hits on everything. She's been collecting for a little while. I'm like, man, she got some stuff at the house here, and I'm like, damn, man, I wish I had them. But, I'm glad to see that you doing it, because I'll be taking L's. L's.
Oh, I take L's, and I think somebody has said it before, and I think what they do, they totally, they give you what they believe you want. Not the stuff that you going for, but because I get every 12. Like every 12, I'm like, y'all think I want all the 12s, but they give me every single 12 that comes. They toss it right to me. The 13s, I get every 13 that comes. I can hit on any of that. That's why I wasn't expecting anything on the Chateaus, but they was like, hey, you got it. All right, cool. They even called me. They called me for the patent leather ones. I'm like, okay. They like, you want them? I'm like, okay, I'll take them. But I'm like, it's all a surprise. I'm like, cool. The gray 11s, I didn't, not from them, but that was Finish Line called me for them. They was just like, hey man, you want these? Okay. I'm like, sure. I've been having some real good luck.
We all could be connected like Marlon Backlet.
Hey man, I done doubled and tripled on a lot of these. That's why I'm got to either sell them or do something with them. Only ones I really want to keep are the brown ones now. All the brown shoes I'm keeping for some reason.
I got you. With those craft ones, did you leave the half laces in, or did you switch the laces out?
I got two pair. I left them in the first pair. I like the look of the half lace for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that look.
Because I have a bit, but I think I switched either all black or the cream. But I guess if I had another pair, I might would just leave it in too. So I feel.
Yeah. I try to leave things standard now. Back in the day, the changing strings thing was high. Like that was just, you wanted them strings. But now I try to leave everything kind of OG.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to find laces too in a store. I mean, they aren't everywhere like they were when we were young. I feel like you got to go online, or you got to, really look for them. So
I think they made it a point. They made it a point to try to sell and push them back in the day. They was pushing. They like, you buy a pair of shoes. They like, hey, you want some laces with that? Like fries, man. They like, you want some laces with that? They always like, yeah, you want a shoe cleaner, some laces? They would be upselling like a mug in the store.
Yeah. All right. Now, as we go to the halftime portion of the show, I'm gonna ask you some either or questions, and we gonna see where we end. So, I've seen you in a lot of Tommy, and I've seen you in a lot of Nautica over the years. So, if you had to pick one, you pick Tommy or Nautica?
Tommy. I'm gonna have to go Tommy. A few years ago, I said I'm gonna bring Nautica back, so I made it a social media platform to, like, every day I'm wearing Nautica polos. I was going to work at Nautica stuff. I got a whole section of my timeline from back in the day where I was doing that. So I mean, and I think Nautica I do like Nautica. They do have some nice stuff, and I do have a lot of nice pieces from them. But Tommy would probably be a preference. Maybe it's the Cleveland in me or something, but the Tommy is definitely, I want those pennies, by the way. Whoever said that, DC23, I got it. That's one I don't have, that shoe, and I do want it.
So you talk about the black ones or the white ones?
Oh, the black ones.
Yeah, I need the white ones. I really need. I never had the white ones back in the day, so come out. I need to grab those. But yeah, I never thought that pennies would be like they're hot like they were back in the day. Now, where people are on them.
See, when people haven't seen something in a while, like, they retroed them a few years ago when they came out with, like, red, white, and blue, like the American flag. Like, nobody wants that. I want the originals. We want the originals. Give me the pinstripes even or whatever, but I don't want that.
Yeah, I remember when I was with Hibbit, we had got all of those, and I remember being surprised because we had got like 6 or 7 colorways, but none of them were the originals. I'm like, man, that should be a rule. You got to bring back one. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Yeah.
We had those ones you're talking about, the Memphis Pro ones. We had like a black and red one, a black and orange one, a blue one with pinstripes. It was like a lot of different ones, but none of the originals. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, I bought some more of the twos. Like, I've always had the twos, and I've been a fan of the twos. But, when they start retroing, like doing the twos, the fours, I still got a bunch I haven't even put on yet. So it's like they're sitting.
Nah, I feel it.
And
That penny four is the hardest to get on shoe of all time, by the way.
hands down, and it took me a while. It took me a while to like learn how to try to put that sock on, man. I'm getting the unsticky off of it and then trying to pull it up. Like that's a workout in itself. Once you get it on, it's like, all right. But that and what is it? The LeBron 14. 14s are 14s.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, come on, man.
Another shoe that used to give me problems because of the elastic bands was the CB94. It was also where you couldn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is definitely. And if you got a wide foot, forget about it. You might as well, you're gonna be sitting on that thing for about 3 or 4 hours trying to get it on.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about that because I got those in the back. Like,
yeah.
Man, those CB94s, man. What else do I got over here? I know the dunks have been pretty hot lately. Even though I'm like, man, you guys, it just boggles my mind where this stuff is going because everybody's like so hot on these regular shoes. Where I used to buy those things like the dunks. What in the 2000s, like early 2000s, I was getting Jordan 1s in like 2010, 2011 when nobody really wanted the mids and stuff and nobody was buying. You can just buy them. I was getting them for like $60. I was getting them for whatever price. It was like nothing. I got so many ones, highs and mids. I got dunks from back in the day that I barely even wore. The real ones, not these, they just coming out with these retro uglies and whatever. I got some of the new retro because I hit on sneakers for some of them, but I mean, I don't care about them that much. I did get one good pair that I like. What was it? These joints, which I thought they were just fantastic. I couldn't pass them up for nothing. I thought they was just like, I'm like, these things, and they soft. Man, come on, man. I'm like, that's a stunting shoe right here. It's a stunting shoe. Smell good too. But yeah, man, I like I said, I've been getting some pretty good picks.
Good. Now this next one, that may not be hard for you, but if you could bring back one Cleveland landmark between Randall and Geauga Lake, would you bring?
Oh, Randall, by far. I mean, I like Geauga Lake or whatever. I don't like Geauga Lake. I didn't love Geauga Lake. I mean, it was a thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in the wave a couple times, get on a rotor and get sick real quick. You know what I'm saying? That I like Geauga Lake, but Randall was a Cleveland staple.
Yeah.
Randall, I got so much experience out of that place. That's where I first learned how to barter. Like, I could go in that place and go in any store, and they had every shoe store known to man.
Yes.
Oh, man, you got Finish Line, Foot Action. I'm like, are you kidding me? You got every store? And I can bounce to each one of them. Then, you have places like City Blue, or I can just walk in and say, hey, how much? 45 out the door. No price is sacred. They can just say, oh, yeah, 68, give me that. I'm like, come on, man. That place was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the early days was even better where you had theaters and all that other stuff. But like after that, it was just Shoe Town. It was Shoe Network. I didn't want to go to Richmond and Beechwood. Randall was the mall.
Yeah.
I got Children's Palace and Kitty City. I got Sun TV. You know, Circuit Cities. Woo, come on, man. That whole area was jumping.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, man.
yeah.
That's Cleveland, man.
I would bring it back to. I do remember City Blue being a lot freer with the prices than Next. You know, and I
It
always
was,
say, yeah, we would look at me and my friends would look at the stuff at Next, and then we would try to go buy it at City Blue.
yeah. Just, I mean, you know, and I've always been jogging suit guy, and the racks was full of them at that point in time, especially in them days. I would go out and buying jogging suits all off the rack. That was me. Jogging suits and some tennis shoes. That's all I need. To this day, that's kind of where I'm at too. So, you know, you used to seeing CEOs in suit and ties.
Hey, I was just listening to that earlier.
I bet.
Oh man. Hey, I had to put that do or die music with the flyer, man. It was like
I saw
the
it.
female right there. Like, man, I had to put this.
I saw it.
Uh,
I saw it. It was match made in heaven. They know what it is.
oh man. All right.
I'm telling you, this is a long time coming, man. We gotta. This can't be the last. I gotta,
it won't. It won't, man. Okay, so with you being from Kennedy, I know you're probably gonna pick this, but have you seen the new John F. Kennedy?
I've seen it. I mean, from the outside or whatever. Yeah, I've seen it. Not impressed.
All right, so you probably would prefer the old Kennedy. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
That shouldn't even been a question. So yeah.
Of course, man. It's very few things that are better than it used to be. All right, very few things out is better than it used to be.
Fair enough. Okay. Well,
I see you, Mike.
Mike. The third quarter, which is sneaker present, you've shown a lot of stuff you've gotten here recently. What do you feel like this year has been the best pickup that you've had out of all the stuff you've gotten?
This year, I mean, it's probably the gray 11s, just because I've always wanted that damn shoe, and it escaped me for so long. Or when the lines used to be out the store and people had to stand out there and wait, they escaped me for so long. And then I finally saw that call. They called me through the internets, and we hooked up. It was like, I felt like G Money off the first hit, man. It was like, I now pronounce you. That's a feeling, man. I was like, oh man, it was like a birthday gift to me. And I always say stuff a birthday gift. I still haven't worn my Win Like 92s. They were supposed to be a birthday gift for me a while ago, and I still haven't put them on my doggone feet. I'm waiting on the right day, right? And it's like, man, I don't want to wear them when it get rain, and then you're gonna mess up my kick in the rain. I don't even care if I spray them down. I just don't want to do it, right? But hey man, it was. Yeah, the 11s, I think, probably the best pickup this year. Those great ones.
All right, for sure. Okay. Now, just off the top of your head, what are some shoes like that 11 that have escaped you that you haven't got to grab just yet? Or are there any?
Like I said, first of all, the Space Jams, which I feel so bad about. Like, man, I'm probably the only person ever who don't get the Space Jam. Let me see. I've been getting, like I said, those penny ones I still haven't gotten ever. I had a pair of the Fugazi ones that's not the originals. I had a pair of those, but I just ended up selling them or getting rid of them. Because it wasn't in my heart. It wasn't in my heart. I couldn't keep them. It's like, I felt dirty. I felt dirty with them. I want the originals. I don't want those. I'm like a spoiled kid.
I get you.
But those are some of the main ones that I know have escaped me. Oh yeah, I don't have any cement 3s either.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of hurts my feelings. I got those those Chicago red ones, but I don't have them white cements or nothing like that. You know,
I regret not getting those red cements. Yeah, they
they
don't.
look kind of hot. I had to grab them, and I saw them sitting there. You know, I walked in a store and got some bread fives. I mean, bread fours. The bread fours. I just walked in the store. They was like, I saw it. They had a display. And it was like they had my size. That was the only size they had. And I'm like, you kidding me?
It was meant for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, whenever that happens, where it's like, oh, we got one size left. It's an 11 or it's 11 and a half. It's like, oh, well,
Gotta take it.
yeah, give it here. You know,
Run it.
yeah.
Run it. People don't understand when I say, man, if I see something and I see like they got the sizes or colors, I take the rack. I just grab it now, grab the whole thing, grab the whole rack because you won't see them again and you'll figure out what to do with it later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just grab the rack. That's my philosophy.
Okay. All right. So with you, being active in the game, would you say that you have an app or a retailer that is a go-to, or you just kind of like, all over the place wherever it is?
I mean, I guess I'm being honest. I mess with Hibbit a lot. I mess with Hibbit a lot, but since I've been dealing with sneakers, since I learned how to use sneakers, man, extra. I got a bunch of them. Whatever, PS5s. You want an Xbox? I got them. Whatever. Um, but hey man, I'm good at sourcing things. That's what and that's where I did because I start focusing on an area. But then if I see I want something, I'm good at sourcing. That probably should have been my original, like just figuring out how to get stuff. But I get it, So I don't know, like. Yeah, I've messed with Hibbit a lot, but since I learned how to use the sneakers app, I've been messing with them. Foot Locker app, I've gotten some love off of. Let's see, what else did I use? I do use my rotation right now. I'm in a rotation.
Nah, I mean, like I said, whenever I've needed something, I was like, man, I don't know how. I'm gonna ask Marlon if he knows something about it. You always come through. You always come through.
Hey man.
You've never.
Hey man. I'm like Morgan Freeman in Shawshank, a guy who knows how to get things.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my label here. And
Yeah.
sometimes Andy won, sometimes he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I do have to ask you. I know you said you had played basketball in the KD 14 and the Kyrie Infinity or Kyrie 8, whatever it is. Are there any other performance basketball shoes that have your eye right now, or is it kind of just really on them?
I try things out, and that's kind of one of those things for me. That's probably why I end up buying so much crap because I always like to try the stuff. Like I've tried the Giannis 2, and the PG, what is it? The PG, what are those? The fours? I think it's like the PG4 with the zipper up the middle. Those are fours? The PG4s. I don't know. It was something about the way they fit on me I like. So I started walking in those more than anything. But I don't really like PGs like that. But that shoe I bought, I got like a few colors of. But his shoes are pretty whack to me. Even though they might feel good if you step in them in a store, but they whack. When I got on the court, I got on the court. It's like it was like they took my superpowers away or something, man. It was like, the Monstars got in me and I started throwing the ball off the court. It was like, hey man, PG has the original Monstar shoe. That's what I'm gonna start calling. PG got the Monstar shoe. But yeah, besides that, I wear a lot of the Huarache basketball shoes. They're comfortable, and I think that's kind of where they got the Kyrie idea from, because the sole was the same, where they move it around the shoe. The Huaraches usually are a good basketball shoe for me, but Kyrie's are my preference. Kyrie 2 especially. I love that Kyrie 2 shoe.
Yeah, see, to me with the 2 compared to all the other ones, it wasn't a high top. It was kind of like a mid But to me, I like the way that height kind of gave you more.
Yeah, and then and I'm always just a fan of straps. For some reason, the strap thing gets me ever since back in the day when I first saw a strap on a shoe. I'm like, man, that is like, who puts a strap on a shoe? Nike, man, you know. I'm like, man, yeah, yeah. I like all that. But the Kyrie 2 is probably my favorite model out of all of them. But I wear all of his to hoop in. They are a great guard shoe.
Now, do you ever play outside, or is it just strictly indoor?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Outside is Cleveland, man. It's you only get so much time of sunshine. So in those 3 days, you got to make the most of it. So I go out to the park. I'll be out in the park showing some kids what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Give somebody some buckets.
Now, have there been any? Because I know how you feel about LeBron, but have there been any LeBrons that you've liked to play in?
Nah. Mostly because I think most of the time for his shoes, I think they were always too heavy. I like guard shoes, and his shoe is like it's like it wants to be a guard shoe, but it's heavy like a Tim Duncan. He has the bulkiness. It's too much bulk, and for a guard like me who wants to run around fast, his shoes aren't for running real fast, and especially like the new ones with all this. They got that. They got that 360 bubble thing where you got the cutout in the middle where you're going to trip and fall if you hit a step. Like, what is that? What is that? I mean, I don't like, why? Yeah. I even saw a commercial with somebody playing in them things. Like, how do you do it? If you're not a center or somebody with got weight on you, I don't have too much weight. So I can't just, I can't be hanging around with the bulky shoes.
See, I
I
always
need
wonder
my speed, man.
how they approach it, where it's been about 3 different times in LeBron's career where he ended up wearing the takedown shoe over the regular shoe. Because it happens,
Yeah.
wearing that ambassador, that overseas shoe over the 19.
Yeah. Like he should be wearing, like, I know he'd rather wear his soldier shoe or something rather than his original shoe. He'll wear the soldier. I know he played in the soldier a lot some years ago in the playoffs, and so he'll be playing in soldiers a whole bunch. Him and Tristan and those guys, they wear the soldiers because they're lighter. I think they're supposed to be his practice shoes. I'm like he just now it's just like I think they're just making them and he doesn't care. They're just making his shoe. He put his name on it. He got his infinite money from them, so he don't give a crap. Because I know it's like, come on, man, they're not practical.
Okay.
Give me something I can use.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you. Now, I will say it's different seeing you wear the single number Jordans. So I'm glad that's happening now. I remember you used to always say, "Nah, they too flat."
My collection easily doubled. My collection easily doubled once I started getting the back number shoes, everything under 11. And then I got, it was like, man, 10s, 9s. My ones are. I probably got more 1s and 5s than anything. 1s and 5s are like the most. And then I got a bunch of 6s. 6s, I love that style of shoe. And they run big, so I get a size smaller than, my regular size. And I'm like, yeah, I love the small foot thing. I'm in love with a small foot thing. So the smaller the shoe, the better for me. So I can do that. But I do love the 4 styles. I've started picking up my 4s and 3s lately. I got a lot more 4s and 3s. But the 1s still like top, and the 5s. I always seem to get a bunch of 5s, even though it feels like they run big. It feels like I can do a size smaller in them, but,
Okay. Now, ever since I've known you, since the 90s, you have been a sweatsuit guy.
Totally.
You prefer Tech Fleece or the regular, Nike? I can't do Tech Fleece.
I mean, I got the shape for Tech Fleece, so I do wear a good amount of that style. But I wear them all in real righteously. The Tech Fleece is a lot more expensive than everything else, especially like, the NSWs and stuff, they are a lot more expensive than that. But, I wear them all. They all get I got thousands of them. So it's like, they all get some kind of, I try to make it through them,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you wear the same sweatsuit more than maybe once or twice. So I know you got a lot.
That's the problem. That's the problem. I won't wear things more than once. I got to stop that. I have a problem. It's a problem. I live like some rich white man just to be. I do. It's like I don't know. But I'm not. But it's like I got a problem. I really. It's like I'm one of the big timers or something for real. Like I was like, man, 20K on my wrist or nothing else. Like it got to be 20K or else. I'm not wearing that shit. And that's how I feel. Like I don't know. It's something on the inside.
Nah, I'm with
I
you.
say I need therapy for it. I gotta stop. I gotta
Hey,
keep buying bigger houses. You gotta buy bigger houses because you accumulate stuff so quickly when you don't want to wear stuff more than once.
yeah, the accumulation thing is crazy because it's kind of like you when you start. And I know this has happened to you. You go in your room and you start looking at stuff and you start having to remember like, oh yeah, I do have these. That's when you kind of like, you know, when is when is
I
it too
tell
much?
people all the time, choices are the key to unhappiness because there's no way in the world you should have so much stuff and never have nothing to wear. Right? It's the most ridiculous thing ever created. I'm like, why do I do it? Why do I do it? For the love. It's just for the love, though. It's for the
And,
love.
and more than anything, and it's such a real but damning statement. It's like because I can. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point I couldn't. No matter how long ago that was, I remember that feeling of not being able to do it. So it just kind of creeped in.
I'm telling you, that's why I'm so nostalgic, right? Everything I never had, I have. Every game system I ever want, I got it. Every freaking shoe that I ever want, I go get it. Every single thing, and it's absurd because it's not really, this materialistic garbage. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something in me. When you never had, this is what you want.
I just think it's our era, the areas that we're from the same area, the same era. We saw the same things, been the same. It's just something, you know, it's just something there. It's hard to pinpoint it, but you and I aren't the only one, fortunately, with this.
Right.
Call it affliction, but a situation.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you know.
it's
Ain't no
it's so.
reason I buy expensive chains, right?
Mhm. Hey, it's so bad. I'll be having to have either stuff thought out or hung up days in advance, so I won't take too long trying to figure out what I'm going to wear.
Oh, man, just getting out to man, what? You don't want to have to sit there and look and look. That's the wrong thing to ever have to do. Sit there and look at stuff. Like, oh, what temperature is going to be? Oh, it's going to be hot today. Oh, I need shorts. Okay, you're going to look at a pile of shorts. I need a shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's,
Mhm.
I mean, it's hard, man.
Yeah. Now, with us both being nostalgic, I have to ask you this before we go to the next quarter. What's something that was hot back then, hot now, but that you wouldn't wear?
You say it was hot back then?
And it's hot now, but you wouldn't wear.
Um, biker shorts.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, shoot. As far as shoes go,
Just whatever.
if,
The shoes.
um, man, because I try to think of a shoe that I really because I started diversifying my shoe lineups as you get older, right? So it ain't all Nike. I remember the first time I started buying like Adidas. Now I got a closets full of Adidas because that Ultra Boost. I don't care what nobody say. That Ultra Boost is something else. It's like one of the best shits they ever created. And I'm thinking like, man, how did I go so long without these? So now it's like I'm an Ultra Boost fan. I can walk all day. You know, got 10 bathrooms. It's like, boom. But like now, like I said, as far as shoes go, I'm not much into like the whole. I know big shoes wearing like the chunky thing. I got like maybe like one considered pair of chunkies, but it's not anything that everybody else got. It's my own, and that I'm really not into that. Like the Balenciaga sock thing and all that other. I'm not into that. You know, leave that for the kids, man.
Yeah, yeah. Fashion sneakers are always they've always been like a waste of money to me, just in the sense of if I can't like I've had Gucci shoes before, but it's like I don't really wear Gucci clothes, so should I have shoes?
I would, you know what it used to be. It used to be you would buy a hot shoe and you wear it long enough to it become a hoop shoe or a garden shoe or whatever. That's how it always worked. That's the transition. My shoe was hot I wore it for a few months. And then, shoot, I'm about to hoop in these boys and see what's going on. So I used to figure out what's a good hoop shoe or not because I wasn't buying a separate hoop shoe. Like now I buy hoop shoes. Well, no, I wasn't buying a separate hoop shoe. Buy these until I wear them a little bit and then we're going to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we'll jump to the final quarter, which is sneaker future. So I have to ask, you have in the collection you have a lot of stuff. You've always had a lot of kicks. But right now, what direction would you like to see your collection go in the future?
I think I heard somebody say before, comfort is big right now. My walk around shoe right now is probably these little donkeys. I mean, I don't know. I just love the colorway, and I thought they was cool. And they got the reflective sign on them, and they good. They feel good just to pop in and walk around it. But it's the comfort more than anything. I don't. I got a lot of nostalgia, so I do buy the stuff. Like I said, when I was able to get the Chateaus, I don't have a lot of twos, so I was able to get some Chateaus. And I was like, so that's gonna add on. But more often than not, it's like I'm being particular on my colors because I don't want to keep buying the same stuff and just piling on the same. But I do want to, I just want to be particular and go for more of the comfort. Even though, like I said, I have been, since I've been able to hit on different apps, it's hard to stay away. It's like it's meant for you. If you got it, keep it rolling, right? It's like, you figure out what to do with it later. But if you hitting, it's like, man, because when you taking them L's, it feels bad. But when you get that W, when you finally get that W, it's like, man, I can't turn it down. I got the girl mint sixes just because I hit, just to see if I hit, right? And I sent them back because I don't want them. I sent them back, but the fact is, I just wanted the dub. It feels good to win, you know. You kind of feel like LeBron jumping to different teams. It's like, man, it feels good to get a dub somehow.
You got to switch that to KD now.
Hey, they all in the same category at this point. Everybody just, mentality is off. So I ain't going, it's a story for another day with these new age cats. They new age cats, though, so I got to expect it.
Yeah.
They wasn't raised right.
Fair enough. I do want to say, with those Chateau Rouges, you've always been kind of able to blend, stepping out with casual. You've always been able to blend it well. So I know you're gonna do something crazy with that. You gotta send that to me. Let me see what you do when you do it, because
I'm gonna have to. I've been thinking about because as soon as I saw them before I was able to get them, I'm like, man, I like that damn shoe. Something about the colorway. It's the lines. Everything on it looks so good. Everything on it looks so good. So I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out with that. But like I said, I've been getting a lot of brown stuff lately, which I never really had brown stuff. I don't wear a lot of brown except for Cleveland brown stuff, right? But all of a sudden, it's like, hey, man, they coming out with some heat in the brown colorways, man. The heat.
They are. I feel like earth tones on sneakers is a bigger thing now than it's ever been. So,
oh, yeah. It's
So I think the ladies are able to blend it more with, ladies wear, and you don't have to just wear a graphic tee. Blend. So it's a lot. It's a good time, in that regard. Mocha 3. Remember how bad the Mocha 3 sold when we were young? They were
Oh,
talking, man, they got them for $39.99 at the Champs, bulk stack on the floor at Randall. You know,
that's how I got a lot of my old school stuff. Just walking in and seeing stuff like, really? I'm like, really?
man,
All right, give
39.99.
me.
Give it here.
Give me. I got some flight pods. Remember, I got some flight posits. Like I got a whole so many. I went through a whole phone posit phase, and I like bought a whole bunch of them. I started seeing them every time they came out. You know what I'm saying? But like I got some for like $70, like some flight pods. I'm like, man, really? Once I start seeing stuff like that, man, like I said, it's meant for you now. It's yours. Take it. Because don't leave it because you'll never see it again. You ain't gonna never see it if you leave it.
And if you do, it's gonna be for a lot more than what you saw it for then.
Oh, totally. Like I said, like these dunks, $200. I'm like, killing me. What? 100? What? Come on, man. Seriously? Regular price. Like that's like regular.
I got at least 4 pairs of dunks from Randall Foot Locker for $19.99. That first retro series, $98.99, because nobody wanted them. And I still have them. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Syracuse and Michigans and y'all going crazy. So
until recently, I had never paid $100 for dunks. Until recently, till that hit on the app, I had never paid $100 for dunks.
yeah,
It's like that.
Aren't $100.
I'm like, man, it used to take a lot for somebody to have to spend 100 plus. Like I said, if it's not a Sears Air Max, like I'm big on Air Max 97, so I still don't pay serious prices for them. But I mean, $100 is fine. My 97s, man, I'm a big fan.
Now, before I have to ask you this, are you hip to like the Next Percents and the Alpha Flies and all of that?
Yeah.
Man,
$275 shoes, yeah.
like I get lucky and I find them at the outlets down here. But yeah, like it's not the Ultra Boost is still kind of in a class by itself, but for Nike, that Next Percent, that Alpha Flies is hard to beat. Like they feel
You just said something. One of the lightest shoes I ever put on, and I was so impressed. Spirit on.
the cage.
Spirit on. One of the lightest shoes. I'm like, this shoe. I'm like, man, it doesn't feel like anything. It feels like nothing. Like you have nothing but like it's a little foam pad that covers you from rocks. But this is the lightest damn shoe. I'm like, man, what this Ultra Boost ain't nothing like this. Ultra Boost is nice feeling up, but it ain't like this is the lightest shoe I've ever put on besides maybe like I don't know, maybe a Roshi or something. But for a performance running shoe or whatever, workout, old school.
Okay.
Old school, man.
What is on your radar next? What you plan on trying to get?
I don't know, man. I just keep looking at pictures. Like I already got like and I didn't really even want them. I got the Heritage and the Concords. That's the 5 Concords or whatever. I didn't even really want them, but I hit. So it's like I said, it's like, yeah, I don't like. It's not a whole lot of. I don't see too much that I desire. I gotta, once I start looking at, they start feeding me more pictures, more media, then I might get, inspired. But most of the stuff now is like, I'll wait and see. Because like I said, before I saw the Chateaus was like, I like that. I think I want that. Right? Like the military fours. Like, oh yeah, I want them black and white. I want those. So when I was able to, but I don't see a whole lot right now that's like that. Right now they're bastardizing the one. They just like doing anything with that, anything they can throw out there. So it's not, like I said, it's not a whole lot unless they give me a Space Jam that I haven't gotten, unless they can give me, there's some white cements, right? There's some white cements coming, right?
Yeah.
There's some white cements coming there.
It's a 3 come out next year, and it's a 4 that comes out this year. but instead of the
Yeah,
bottom black, it's navy.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I might consider the 3, maybe the 4 if it looks good in the new pictures that I get to see. I might consider that because that's something that I'm missing. I don't have too many white 4s. I got maybe a couple. Most of my 4s are colored. You know,
I got you.
melanin.
Yeah, I think the only white four I have is the cement. So I don't think any other white ones, at least I think of off top.
I got the what is it? The the white motor.
Oh, with the
What they
blue,
called? Yeah,
the
the white and blue
motorsport.
motor. Yeah, motorsport ones. Yeah, I got those, but
Yeah. Oh, I
yeah,
forgot. It's yeah. So yeah, it's only those only two.
yeah.
I regret
So
not getting motorsport. They go for I ever thought, but
I should have bought the black ones when I had a chance, because those ones now they look so good to me when I see them. Like, man, I should have bought those. The white ones are like to me now.
yeah. But the black ones, with it being leather and it being black, because they usually don't do that. That's
Right,
kind of why I was just like, probably should have got both. But one day.
right. Yeah, yeah. They'll come back. They always come back.
Yeah. Well,
So,
before we sign off, did you have any questions for me?
man, when you coming back to town, man?
Uh, oof. I'd like to try to get back one more time before the winter. Um, Things are kind of messed up at work, where I've kind of had to be there a little more than I normally have. So that's the only thing that's kind of like, I'm not really, really sure. And I was just in Vegas, so I'm kind of still recuperating from that. But I hope to be back. I'd like to say I come like late out.
Well, I got some stuff I probably can toss your way, because I got some stuff that I've been holding in the closet. I figured you might like. I mean, of all people, you can appreciate certain things. So I figured you might want to check some things out, toss it your way, because whatever.
Not
But
for sure.
like I said, whenever we gotta keep this communication alive, man. It's like always great. This has been excellent. I got so many more stories, so many more kicks to just. Oh, it was some other stuff. I think I saw you the other day post something. And I know you got them, but when I saw these, I had to get them. I'm an Insta Pump Fury fan, right? So when I saw them, I had to do it.
Man, you got
Got
the
a
court.
good deal.
Woo.
Got the Gore-Tex on them, man. They are fantastic.
Yeah, those look
They
awesome.
are,
Like,
those are, I'm telling you, man. As like I
woo.
say, you could appreciate stuff like this, man. This is
Hey, you ain't never afraid to try nothing or wear something different, and you still have stuff everybody else have to.
Hey man, I mean, cause I have stuff that they have, but I don't wear it.
Mm. Pull it out a couple years later. Let the beauty.
Yeah, I pull out a few years later, cause it's man. I'm telling you, I wear the stuff that I like. And I got the stuff they got too, but you know, what I'm saying. But like I said, I got plenty most kicks and stories for you. So we're gonna have to chop it up.
Yeah, yeah. We may do. I sometimes I'll do the live like a shot drop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they didn't go know and just boom. So we may have to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Actually, after we get off here, inbox me your current phone number and I'll send you mine.
Got you.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being on here. Uh, can't thank you enough for all you know looked out for me over the years, and thank you for being on here for real.
Hey, for sure, man. Anytime. Like I said, you're a brother of mine. You one of the reasons I got into DJing, because we was always in the shoes and the music. It was always there. So it's all love, man. So whenever, just let me know. I'm gonna send you my number. We'll hook it up.
All right, for sure, for sure. Well, I will be in touch. Thank you for everybody in the comments. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you all soon. Peace.